Not yet. 4 seconds.
All right. C-A-T-S, cats. Go, cats.
Oh, go, cats. Oh, my God. There's just a 3.9 second whatever. This is crazy.
It is. It's everything about March Madness that I love. It's 3.9 seconds to really halftime. And here we go. It's 39-13. And, only the UK Wildcats could really sort of
draw that out of you.
Absolutely.
I know you cheer for U of L, too.
I do. I will say I was really sad to see U of L lose. But Kentucky, we have a great tradition of basketball. 4 teams in the NCAA.
Look at them go.
Which is great.
Well, we've already got people tuning in. I love it.
Right.
We are simulcasting this live cast. We're both on Heather's page and my page, and I will be sharing it to the Take It From Tara page. Hopefully you can hear her on her phone, because we have one microphone, which is great. By the way, nobody has to ask who this is, right? This is Heather French Henry, Miss America 2000, massively popular across the world. We absolutely adore her. This is her extraordinarily beautiful firstborn, Harper, whom I have been privileged to know since before she entered this world, and was very, very glad to see grow up into a beautiful young woman. We have Greta.
Yes, Greta is the matriarch of the family.
She's fabulous.
That's our German Shepherd, our eldest, and you may have just seen Buckner kind of come in.
Buck made a really quick cameo appearance, and now he's gone.
He's our youngest German
here he comes
Shepherd,
again.
And he's coming back in right now, and there he is.
Oh, he's adorable.
And then we also have 4 wonderful cats that live with us as well, and then Carly.
that allow you to live with them.
Yes, that's right. And then today happens to be Stephen's mother's birthday. She's been gone for several years, but we actually have her dog Carly that we inherited.
Where is Carly?
And Carly is here in the house somewhere, certainly in the house. But no, it's great. So welcome to the Henry household. This is our living room.
I love it.
This is headquarters 101 for just about everything, certainly. And we've had a very busy day today. I was with United Mine workers today. We have been all week long with great groups of people. We've had fundraisers for the campaign. Some of you all may not know, I am running for Secretary of State.
We're going to call her Madam Secretary. And by the way, I want you to know that I have dubbed this, hi Buck, I have dubbed this Camp Campaign.
Camp Campaign?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Battleground Headquarters.
And it's glamorous, isn't it? It is true life. Having 2 teenagers in the house. Phyllis Dillard once said that cleaning a house with 2 teenagers is like shoveling snow in a snowstorm.
I love that.
And
that's perfect.
It is
Buck.
true. So you see lots of blankets kind of everywhere. All over the couch and everything. But I just want to give a shout out to everybody out there. I know that a lot of people have known me since Miss America. I actually brought my crown out for you, Tara. Yeah.
You let me wear it one time about 10 years
and look
ago.
at that. Look, it looks so great.
I like that.
Yeah. Missed out on that one. Missed it by that much, Chief. Thank you.
But, I brought it out because a lot of people have always asked me, one, to see the crown, and this is the Millennial crown.
Cool crown.
This is the 14-karat gold with rubies in it. And then what's even more special is what's in the crown box usually, and I've got a Vietnam Service Medal. As many of y'all know, Veterans was my platform as Miss America. My dad's a Vietnam veteran, certainly. And then I also have a lapel purple heart that a veteran gave me who fought in Iraq, and he gave that to me after he heard me speak.
I love
and
that.
then in the center, a gentleman from Lexington who was a camera guy for one of the television stations there, and he gave me his dog tags. He's no longer with us. And so I keep those in my crown box because to me, the crown of Miss America exemplifies everything that is my service. And that the crown is really for them. It's not really for me. I just get to keep it here, which is very nice.
I don't know if you saw the little promo piece that I put on about you, but it said, that you are all about service, and you have been.
I have been.
From the very beginning of your life, you have been about service, and representing us as Miss America was just the very, very beginning. And then you have done wonders for our veterans at the Department of Veterans Affairs in Kentucky, from which you had to resign because I guess in this state you can't have an office and run for an office? What's the deal on that?
Well, what's good about that though is it takes out any misperception that if you're going to stay in a job like the Deputy Commissioner of Kentucky Department of Veterans Affairs, that there, would there be a moment that you would be doing any campaigning while on state time? And although I would have been very good about not doing that, it's really about perception, and perception is 100% reality. So it was very hard to step away from the Kentucky Department of Veterans Affairs. And I've still continued to funnel calls and emails about veterans issues, and so making sure we're still networking them. But then also what was interesting, people have asked me what the biggest sacrifice in running for Secretary of State. And I will tell you that I had, because I covered our health care for me and the girls. Stephen's 65. Woo. So I covered the health care for me and the girls. And so like many small businesses or people out there without health insurance, you have to shop for that.
No
and
kidding.
that was really scary, I will say. So as far as some extreme sacrifice, that that was just one step that was a little, we're going to have to go without this. And then finally we got that all taken care of.
Thank God.
But, in order to make a difference, you always have to think, what can I do in the future to keep making a difference? And about 8 years ago, the Secretary of State's race came around, and Stephen and I discussed it. And I was actually running a business. I had an international manufacturing distribution business. I had a line of clothing and 150 retailers nationwide, and so business was really booming for me. And then about 2014, as I was continuing to travel and do that, I got the call from actually Governor Beshear to come on and become Commissioner of the Kentucky Department of Veterans Affairs, which was really a dream come true.
Right.
That department actually got started under the Patton Henry administration, so I had seen it go from 2 employees to about 910 by the time I left, a $100 million budget. I was the legislative liaison for that as well, and so it was really an awesome opportunity. And then Bevan asked me to stay on as Deputy Commissioner, which I was all too happy to continue to serve our veterans. But then this race as Secretary of State came around again, and it's an open seat, and I thought, if there's a chance to be able to serve in an even greater capacity, then we can do that. And having the experience of running a very large statewide department, really, I feel extremely comfortable in going into this process. I love administrative responsibilities, which is really weird. It's not the very glamorous part.
Definitely.
But I love creating efficiency in government. I did that well under KDVA, and I really want to do that with Secretary of State's office. And I get really excited about the mundane things, and I know people don't like to get into the weeds about things, but then I had to actually have a great conversation with the girls as well.
And they said,
so what do you think about that?
Well, it was interesting at first. But I did say, because a lot of people had put pressure on her about running for governor.
Right.
I said that this was I think this was like a good opportunity that was laid out for her life, and that she should take it if it was offered up. And since it was, I was very supportive.
Thank you. And right after I was able to file for candidacy, Harper was able to register to vote.
That was cool.
Yeah, so she's 17 and a senior. She'll turn 18 before the general. And it really transpired. It really wasn't all that planned. We were actually driving up to file, and we started having this conversation about her registering to vote, and it all sort of came together in this perfect universal moment. And so she will actually be able to vote, and I'll be on her very first ballot. I know you saw Carly.
Sorry, but I'm watching Buck and Carly going through the tripods and the cameras and the mic wires, and I'm so glad you have the ability to focus right now, because Carly is she's rubbing up against the furniture, and she's hysterical. She's
our
special.
house is a 3-ring circus.
I love that. I love that. So let me just say, you got a ton of people watching you. Faith Yasconi, Leo Fonte, Janelle Fitzpatrick, Lisa Fay, Molly Smith, Latifah Mina, Denise Burke, David Moore. Leo Fonte says, she has my vote.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
Mary Lynn
that.
Hartman, I love you so much. Denise Favre, and June Kelly Roy, and David Janet Hedrick, Andy Hall, Lisa Fowler, Jennifer Rice, Mark England, Deneen Lentini, Jennifer Cheka, Jeff Gill, Tracy Sprouse, Rebecca Eves, Brenda Davidson, and Ray Bolton. Andrea Jones, Daryl Lavery, Aruj Yazdani, Martha Bloom. I can't continue this. Lisa Smalley. All these people are watching, and this is Tanya Richards. We love you. Yeah. This is just off my phone. I have no idea what's going on her phone.
Right, who knows? Hopefully I have a lot of family back home in Maysville and Augusta.
You will.
But one of the things that people don't understand about campaigning, and this is the weird part,
I'll
certainly.
continue to eat while you talk, okay?
You continue to eat. Is that I've never run for office before. Of course, Stephen has, and I was a part of that campaign, but not in a way, of course, where you're the candidate. And I will tell you, raising money for a campaign has got to be the weirdest thing to do. And Harper has seen me, it's a lot of dialing for dollars, and it's very strange because I've always raised money for nonprofits and for causes, for things other than yourself, but then calling people. And so I want to tell people out there that, there's never a point where there's too little contributed to a campaign. It's really important, even the $5, $10, $25, because in the end, it's about the amount of contributors to a campaign. And I grew up in a small town, Augusta and Maysville, and so the chances that you're going to know people that are these really high dollar donors, and we're great, it's really nice that we have a few of those, but it's really the real people out there.
That's right.
Who have the, $25 contributions. Their voice needs to count, and they need to know their voice is heard. And so it's extremely important when you talk about these races to be able to make those types of contributions. And I hope I'm not sound like I'm pandering, but you can actually.
Harper and I will pander for
me.
We'll do the pandering here. You just be the Secretary of State.
Well, but we have created some easy ways for people to contribute, and you go online at heather4ky.com.
I like that.
You can actually donate. I have several URLs.
HeatherFrenchHenry.com,
HeatherFrenchHenrySOS.com, and contribute to the campaign. And again, whether it's $5, $10, $25, if you want to do bigger, great. But if not, it's a very easy way to be able to show your support. Because in the end, when you file that financial support, it really will be the amount of contributors that makes all the difference. And they do like to see, the media loves to see that wide range. And so that, to me, has been the most eye-opening experience of this whole thing. It's not the gripping and grinning. Of course, for 20 years, I've been doing that really most of my life.
Hand massage,
right? Or the smiling and taking pictures, or the giving speeches, or the doing policy, leading, again, a statewide department. That is all something I'm extremely comfortable with. It really is, once you move over into that candidacy, that the raising money is weird.
Well, let me just say something about that. This is important for everybody to hear. The thing that I love about you is when you and I talked about this, and I always am asking Heather if she'll do a live cast because I get the highest number of views ever in the history of my show when I have Heather on the show. So when I asked her if I could talk to her about being Secretary of State, and she said, sure, come on over and we'll just do this. It's kind of off the cuff. Nobody planned anything, except Harper, thank God, ordered pizza, which was great. Taylor's a little under the weather tonight, or she would be here too, but you've seen her on previous shows. The thing that I want people to know is how important it is to me that you want to have the opinions and have the feedback from individuals just like us. Literally, you're going to be a voter, I'm a voter, instead of taking money from large people, corporations, whatever. Just only that, because you have to have that. It's obvious.
Right.
But you really care about reaching out to the individuals who are your constituents.
It really is
so
important.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And from the moment, of course, that you start championing, especially a population like our veterans, you really get a chance to know that it's really about the individual voices and stories that need to be heard. And all too often, people look at government and they think it's so big that how do I relate to that? How do they relate to me? And I believe in servant leadership. And I also believe that if you haven't been willing to serve, then you don't really know how to lead in the future. And I've never asked anyone to do anything that I wouldn't be, of course, willing to do in service. And I really believe that when you value servant leadership, that means you're going to meet people where they are and not make people come up to you. And I really think that that is the way that all government should really be, that we should create efficiencies and we should create processes that really, how can we better serve you? That's always been, especially to veterans, how can we better serve you? And I think that once that question is asked, that really changes the entire narrative when you talk about processes and legislation and everything else. It is putting the perspective back from the voter's perspective onto what you're doing.
This is why we're electing you.
Well,
because you can do all that.
I appreciate that.
It's a complicated job. And when you began your life, your professional life, after Miss America, because that was a profession too. I mean, for those of us who've been in the pageants, it's a full-time job to run, and to win at that level is just astounding. And you were the first Miss America from Kentucky. Venus Ramey kind of,
right.
sort of.
Who had the title of Miss Kentucky, we should say.
Right.
Because then we had Phyllis George, who was Miss Texas when she won Miss America.
And who was the first lady of
Kentucky. I just think
Kentucky.
it's funny because I refer to people who don't know about Miss America as civilians.
Yes.
And a lot of people, they see the glitter, but they don't really understand the job.
Right.
And that it took me half a decade to win, which took a lot of perseverance and endurance. And that it paid for all of my college.
That's right.
So I graduated debt-free, which student debt is a huge issue right now.
It sure
but
is.
it really gave me the platform to be able to have a larger voice. I mean, I worked with the White House and Department of Defense and Department of Veterans Affairs.
And Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. It was, I mean, just really great people. It was a perfect year. You had Saving Private Ryan, the World War II Memorial Foundation. And so there was so much synergy during that year. And then to be able to come home and raise your children and kind of see, how all of that sort of melts together and how you can do things for your own community and bring that experience back to Kentucky.
That's right.
And I really do hope that through all this process, no matter what happens, I do hope that my daughters are able to see strong women lead.
Well, one of the things that you put on all of your hashtags is Heather's Girls Are Fierce.
That's right.
And that's the best thing that we can say because, we are growing up right now, you are growing up in an environment that is not really friendly to women in so many regards.
We have cats down
I know,
here
and they're
who are
playing
like
they're playing with wires. But this environment in our world that we're living in is not necessarily woman friendly, and we have to take care of each other, and we have to be great examples to you. Yeah. And your mother is a great example to you. But anyway,
I do get to brag about her quite often.
You should. And I've known her longer than you have.
Uh-oh.
Hey, you little stink pot. Wait, let me get the phone fixed. Hold on, everybody.
Hello.
We'll get Heather's phone back in line here. Who was that? Butterscotch?
Yeah, that one was Scotch.
That was Scotch. Okay, we got it. We got it covered. It's okay. My phone has not changed.
It is, but Tara, you're right, and we have to create a better environment. And I'm very big on, civility back in government as well.
No.
Civility where we're back in government as well, and we have to be able to teach people how to talk and even sometimes to agree to disagree.
Right.
And that is okay. It's about diversity and opinions.
I
know. You're a good boy.
You just wanted my
But I will tell you, I wanted to, and as we kind of wrap this up, because I know halftime only lasts so long, and people are all UK, being crazy.
And there's commercial on right now, but we don't know the score.
I do want to kind of leave everyone with, people ask me where I got started in community service. And I wanted to bring, I'm a big Girl Scout fan. I was in Girl Scouts for about 12 years, got my Gold Award in 1992. And
that's the top one, right?
That is the top one. It's like the Eagle Scout
for
Boy Scouts. But I just wanted to encourage, young women out there that there are many ways to be involved.
Good God, this dog is killing me.
Involved in great things. And I took a path that had many different routes, Girl Scouts, Miss America. But, my path is not necessarily going to be Harper's path, and likewise. And so we should respect each other's path.
Right.
To, the success that we all want to be. And I will tell you that my foundation, aside from my faith, Girl Scouts to me was a pretty wonderful experience because it showed me that we all started equal.
Yes.
And that
Beautiful.
It really was how hard you wanted to work was what you were able to achieve. And I certainly believe that, and I think that that's true for the future no matter where we are.
I heard somebody talking today on NPR about the fact that they might want to rename the Scouts because it's now Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts.
About the Boy Scouts is.
Right.
Yes.
So they're allowing women to participate in the Boy Scouts, and they said maybe it would be a great idea to go ahead and do a rebranding right now and just call it the Scouts, which I think is cool. Because,
for the Boy Scouts,
for the Boy Scouts.
I do applaud, too, though, that the Girl Scouts is maintaining, because I do believe that there's a place for young women empowerment, just young women, certainly. And that doesn't mean that we don't do things that the Boy Scouts have done. I grew up camping and making your campfire stew and building a lean-to and all those great things.
Yes.
But what's important about both entities is that we continue to get our children and younger generations involved in something that is community-minded.
Excellent.
And so,
I love it.
With that, as we kind of wrap down our halftime show, I know we kind of got
Would you do this again? Will you do this again?
I would love to
Let's
do
this
again.
Let's just do an occasional drop-in, and we want to thank all the people who are watching today.
thank
Tiny
you.
Heroes Therapy Horses loves Heather.
Aw,
That's a
thank
good
you.
thing. Yay, Heather from Jane Jackson Walks. Shauna Ross. Faith Hopley Asconi just loves you. Kara Ricketts. We've got so many people on here who are just saying, I love you. She is so down to
thank
earth.
you.
You're doing your interview and she's in her Kentucky shirt. You can talk to me, love to chat, but don't mess with my Kentucky basketball. First things first. She loves you. That's Denise Favre. I love it. So
that's
let us
awesome.
know if we can do a neighborhood coffee for you, Leo Fonte.
That would be great.
Yes, we will take you up on that.
Coffee? Are you serious? Anytime
Seriously.
that coffee's in the discussion,
Totally.
that's an automatic
I might drop
yes.
in on that one.
Yeah, definitely. Harper is going to be with us. We want to thank you guys for tuning in and share this widely if you are interested. You know, and sometimes I stay clear of politics, but oftentimes I don't. And I don't stay clear of this political situation because this is one of my favorite people in the whole world, and I think she's an outstanding leader, and she's going to make a huge difference for the state of Kentucky. So let me just throw my vote into the hat for Heather French Henry, and I'd love you to join us too. Secretary of State's never going to look better on anybody, and you'll be able to call her Madam Secretary. So say goodbye.
Oh, goodbye.
Tell everybody how much you love them.
We love you. Join us at heather4ky.com if you want to volunteer or contribute. I certainly appreciate it.